OverDose Vapes. Keep your wicks wet and your coils tight. If you're looking for new flavors and all about the clouds, bro, filling up a clear road, we're dripping on the sub-ohm. Reviews for that juice well, Trav and Josh host, view it on YouTube and prepare for overdose.
You fucking heard him on that one.
That's crazy. Hella power.
So much power. So today we're looking at a little bit of hardware for you guys.
Hardware, baby.
A nice little tank
On OverDoseVapes.
sent out by Element Vape.
Element Vape.
They're an online retailer. You can go check them out. Pretty good.
Big shop. Big shop.
big
Got
shop,
everything
yeah.
you need. Check it out.
I've shopped there myself. They got anything you're looking for, you can go there and check it out.
Great stuff.
Yeah, so they sent out a couple products, and one of them was this Limitless XL.
What you say? Made by IJOY?
Made by IJOY.
Yeah.
They have a whole line of Limitless stuff right now. They got like a Genesis style one. It's kind of like the avocado. It's really nice.
RTA.
They have an RTA, which is really nice.
Yep,
And
this is the Limitless XL. This is the big dog,
It's
bro.
a 25mm tank.
Yeah.
Kind of reminiscent of the Griffin in style.
It is. It holds up 4 mils.
Yeah. Not a lot. Not as much as I thought.
It goes through it.
It goes fucking
But
through
it chucks. Show them a little something, Travis.
Okay, let's do it. Got 125 watts.
Yep. You might see a little light underneath. This is comes with 3 different coil options. This is one. It's called the cell. Is that true?
It's the chip coil.
The chip coil, not the cell coil. I lied to y'all.
It's the XL C4 light up chip coil.
Light up chip coil,
At
huh?
0.15 ohms,
Uh-huh.
and they say recommended between 50 and 215 watts.
Wow.
And I have pushed it to like
Yeah.
200.
And those are the ones you can buy. Those are coil ready. There's actually 4 little coils. You'll see it in the up close.
They light up. I don't know if you can see that. You probably can't. It doesn't light up very fucking much.
You know.
It's kind of gimmicky. The
It
light up
is
thing.
a little gimmicky, but the coil is dope.
It's got like it's got like 4
light.
coils in there. I'm not
Yeah.
sure about the exact like what they're rocking in there, but it's 0.15 ohms. It's a quad coil deal.
We're rocking this at 125 right now, and it's just boosting.
It's just as good as any RTA I've ever used, or
Oh,
RDA.
shit.
I mean, it's like a dripper. It totally is. It gets the airflow from the bottom, which you'll see up close. It's an unusual design, but it does chuck. I mean, that's what this thing is for, chucking clouds.
And you can look straight down, and you see the coil. I mean, and it's fucking just beastly airflow.
You know what? And it's got so much wire and shit in there that even at 0.15, which is like you should be able to rock that on a mech mod. Me and Josh both tried this on a mech mod. It just takes like so long to get to temperature.
Yeah, man, this thing you want to rock at 80 and above.
Yeah.
No doubt.
On a regulated. I mean, you have to have a regulated device for the pre-made coil.
Yeah, your 75 watt device is not gonna power this thing right.
No, it won't. No, you have to. Yeah, 80 and up. And honestly,
Yeah.
over 100, 120. That's where you're really starting to shine with this tank.
Yeah, this is at 125, and it's wicking like a dream.
Yep.
Yeah, I've had no issues with it.
And it does come with
the pre-made coils.
Yeah. Okay. And it does come with 2 other options.
Uh-huh.
Great decks too. They got a single coil deck, which is awesome, and they have a dual coil deck, which is also great. A lot of airflow on those things, almost too much. We'll talk about that when after we look at the up close. The single coil option, the coils that come in pre-built into these RTA sections are fucking some of the best I've ever seen put into one of these devices. The dual coil one has 2 spaced fused Claptons.
Yeah. And when you're done with those, you take them out and you put your own coils in. It's pretty cool. It's a really cool idea. Instead of just sending a blank deck or an empty deck, they filled them up for you with some beast-ass coils. It's pretty cool.
The single coil is a parallel Clapton wrapped with flat wire. I mean, these aren't like your basic bitch coils. These are amazingly, intensely complicated coils.
And that's 3 different coil options you have. Really great. You can also, put a 510 on there if you want just a little drip tip, kind of slow down the air.
It has a big wide,
wide bore
stock. It has this really big wide bore one, kind of short, but it does have a 510 adapter. But it kind of ruins the whole design of it.
It does.
Because it's silver.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be a
go.
chucker, dude.
Yeah.
And this one's relatively comfortable. The shelf cap is actually relatively comfortable on the lips.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Let's look at it up close.
Yep.
That way we can get that shit out of the way and we can talk about some of our
Pros and
negatives.
cons.
You know what I mean?
This is what you're gonna get it in. This really nice packaging. Got it tells you all 3 of your coil options plus the airflow option on the side there, so you know what you're getting before you ever buy it. It's got a little some specs there on the back. you know, 25 millimeter diameter, all that kind of stuff, tells you all about it. So you slide that off. The tank is obviously not in here, I've taken it out. But what do you get? You get an extra glass piece, which I think is amazing. You know, you guys know my opinion. A lot of people don't really care, they'd rather save a couple cents, but I've broken enough of these things that I appreciate an extra one. You also get an extra 510 drip tip, because there is a 510 drip tip option in here, and a bunch of extra screws and O-rings, and a nice long screwdriver. Probably one of the nicer ones I've got. So this is the single coil option deck that it comes with. It's got tremendous airflow. It comes with this really amazing coil. This is a parallel Claptons wrapped with flat wire. It's been used obviously, but this is the coil that it comes stock with. You can see right underneath there, there's where the airflow comes in. Huge airflow. So this is just the single coil option. This is the dual coil option. This is what comes stock in it, is your fused Claptons, spaced. As you can see, it's a similar concept. 2 posts, giant airflow underneath the coils, as you can see. And this is your wicking ports here on the sides. Section, you know, for those of us who want to build our own coils. And how it works is you wick it, and then you put this little cap back on, and then you can see here, that's where your juice is going to flow into your wick. They have one on each side, and that's the same with the single coil option as well. So this is the third coil option. This is the coil that comes pre-installed when you buy the tank. It is a beast. Call it the chip coil. You can see there it's a quad coil. I'm not sure if those are like parallels in there or what, but it's a quad coil and it actually ohms out to 0.15. I've tried to use it on mech mods, but there's so much metal in there to heat up that it takes forever to get to heat. So this is definitely meant for a regulated device and a powerful regulated device. You can see here on the sides, there's your little wick ports. This thing is just a big mess of wick and metal on the inside, but it also lights up, it glows red. This pre-made coil does. And as you can see there on the side, it says best between 50 and 215 watts. I've taken it up to 200 watts, it handles it just fine. So it's a pretty amazing little deal. The red light is a little tacky, and it's a little forgettable, but the coil itself is pretty damn nice. So this is the tank section, and it's a little wet, I just rinsed it out. It's got this kind of metal cage on the inside. Here's the top part. You know, this is where you would fill it. This is where the drip tip. So it's got this really big drip tip option here. This is what it comes stock, you know, standard on there. As you can see, it's basically just one giant hole. You know, it's nice. I find myself using it this way the majority of the time. Just direct right down to the coil kind of airflow. It does come with a 510 adapter. I will show you that. But it's silver, and so it doesn't really match the rest of the device. It's like stainless steel. And yeah, I mean, it just kind of makes it look a little... So how do we do this? Okay, so we got our tank section here with our drip tip. Now, what coil are we going to use? Let's go ahead and put in the pre-made coil. All we do is we got our bottom piece here. This is also where our airflow is going to come from. This is bottom airflow. You can close these off like a little fan design. But what you do is so it has a pin right there. You can take any of your coils and you just screw them in here to the very bottom section. Make sure they're tight, but not too tight. And then you just insert that into the tank section, tighten it till it stops. Then you can open and close the airflow on the bottom here like that. As you can see, like that. tank, the final, the final product after you get it all put together. This is what it looks like. If you want to fill it, you just unscrew the top cap there, and you can fill it down along the sides.
We're back.
We are back.
And so as you can see, there's a lot of shit to see there, a lot of product. When you're buying this, you're getting so many different options, which I love.
Yeah.
I really love that. And they even give you an extra glass tank, which is fucking amazing.
Yeah, and tons of O-rings, tons of screws.
Yep.
Great stuff. I mean, IJOY put everything in this beast.
And the extra glass tank is like, I have other tanks, I'm not going to mention them, but I have other tanks that I love.
Yep.
But then they only come with one glass. You break it, you have nothing left.
It
You can't
really
vape.
lengthens the life that you have with your Addy. So
Yep.
that's great. Because I mean, yeah, you could buy replacement glass on most of these things, or you could just buy the next new tank because they're every couple months there's great shit coming
Yeah.
out. So
Yeah, and you can't assume your product's so fucking good that people are going to keep buying them over and over again if they break them. I mean,
Right.
that's not the best business practice. So
true story.
they know what's up.
You want to go with the negatives?
Let's go with the negatives.
Let's hog out the
Let's
negatives.
fucking hog it out.
So, Travis used it for, almost a week or so, and then he handed it off to me, and, I wicked the dual coil setups, wicked it up like I thought I should, and put it all together, filled it up with juice, and the shit just dumped, right? It dumped the whole tank of juice just all over my Addy. It was a fucking mess. I just think that I wasn't putting enough wick in there.
That's absolutely because I did the same exact thing.
Yeah.
I tried to wick it like the Griffin or the Stargate, any of those kind of tanks with similar design.
With just little tails.
With little tails
yeah,
down
you
into
kick
the tunnels there.
Don't work.
You can't. You have to stuff the cotton down.
Right,
in
because
there,
there's so much airflow just below your coils. That's where the airflow's coming. It's a fan style
Yeah.
thing. You
and
saw it.
and it's a big giant hole.
Yeah.
And so it's always a little moist. I mean, even if you have it wicked right,
Right.
just from the coils being so close to that airflow hole, there's
Right.
always a little condensation. So I've noticed that it always seems a little moist on the bottom to me, even when I wick it right.
And the pre-made coils do get rid of a lot of that, because it's able to take the pressure of the juice and it's not just flooding it.
Well, and it's wicks. I mean, it's like if you look at this premium coil, it's like 4 coils just surrounded by wick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
doubt.
So much wick. And so, of course, I think that's kind of how they designed it, is to be like just stuffed full of wick. And so that's how we've learned to build on it. And I think once you learn how to build on it, it's really not much of an issue. But the first time when you lose 4 mils of juice in your fucking pocket, that's
all
a
bad.
pain in the ass.
That's all bad.
Yeah.
Another negative I would say is you have to use very high power. It heats up. It doesn't really heat up the lip, where you're putting your lips that much, but the actual tank itself
It's really
real
hot.
fucking hot.
It's
Yeah.
really hot. Yeah, the
It
bottom
does.
of it especially, right here where the coils sit.
And that,
It's hot right now. We haven't even fucking hit it in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, and that's because you're just rocking such high temps with those fucking fat coils.
And you have to. I mean, you could build, obviously, take the RTA section, and even the ones that come with it, you don't have to crank it up quite as much.
Right.
And especially the single coil, I mean, you don't have to crank it up to 200 watts.
You could definitely build down.
Yeah. I mean, so you could take care of a lot of those
Yeah.
problems, but this is definitely designed to be a high watt tank. And the thing about that, not just that it gets hot, and it does get fucking hot.
It gets hot as
Is
fuck.
that, I mean, what kind of mod are you carrying around that you're going to be able to rock at 150 watts
For very long.
for very long?
That's true.
Even my DNA 200 here that we have it on now, at 120 watts, I mean, I got maybe an hour of vape time, and it's
Yeah.
going to be fucking dead. So.
The reload too. I mean, it just drains the shit out. That's just how it works. You're just rocking high. I mean, because 75 watts, even with the pre-built coils, isn't enough.
It's not enough.
It's not enough.
No.
You got to go 85 or 90 at least.
At least. And the higher the better.
Probably
honestly.
over 100. I mean,
Yeah,
really.
honestly, yeah. And it eats juice. Like, fucking, you wouldn't believe it eats juice.
it. But so this is a tank for those of you that want to just blast clouds. I mean, because the first couple times I hit it, even with that pre-built coil in there, it just billowed onto my table, and I was just like, damn, that's something else. You know what I mean? And I'm using the Stargate most of the time, which is also a chucker, but this is another animal.
This is on a whole nother level.
It is. I
It
mean,
really is a cloud chucking machine.
You saw the bore on that thing. It just goes all the way down to the coils. Chucks.
It's just like an RTA. I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
it feels like an RTA. It has the same flavor as an RTA. So those are the positives of it.
Those are the positives. But those could also be negatives, that you have to rock high-ass wattage. Like, if you only have a 75, watt, don't buy this.
Or even if you have a mech mod
don't buy this.
I mean, because you can't use the pre-built coils.
No.
You can't. I mean, you cannot get a satisfying vape with a mech mod on this.
It needs more heat.
It needs more heat. It needs more wattage. It needs more direct power.
Yeah.
Of course, the RTA sections, which are going to be what most people are going to be using,
Sure.
you can build it to tailor whatever you want. But I'm just saying, if you're going to go into this, you don't want to build coils. You just want to use the pre-built coils. You have to have a 200-watt device, and you got to expect that you're going to have to charge the battery during the day.
At least a 100-watt device.
At least.
Yeah.
At least. Yeah. And you're going to be fucking pushing that right to the limits of what it can do.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And it's going to die quick.
Absolutely.
But those are kind of positive, negatives. You got to take that as you will.
There are going to be positives for some people and negatives for others. I mean, honestly.
I mean, it's a tank that I love, and I'll rock it. Will I rock it all the time? No, because I wouldn't be able to take it for a full day. I just don't think I'd make it through, even with the 3 battery rouleau. So
to me, it's more like if somebody wants to get that drip experience.
It is.
In a tank.
It's got more airflow than a lot of drippers.
Way more.
That's real.
Yeah. Honestly,
I mean, you can hog it out, bro. I mean, it's nice.
It is a hog, and it's built for one thing, and that is chucking massive clouds.
And for that, I will give it a 4.2.
I'm going to say 4.2 also. I think it's way above average for what they're trying to do.
There's a learning curve to wicking it and that kind of thing, but once you get it set, it's going to be a beast. It's going to wick. It's going to, it's going to hog out your juice.
Yeah.
But you get a lot of good flavor.
Yep. It's got great flavor saturation. I think that it's built to be a cloud machine.
Yeah, no doubt.
And it 100% nails it. Like Josh said, there is a learning curve where you could be losing juice.
Yeah.
And I don't think that that all elements of it are designed perfectly. That's why it's a 4.2, not a 4.5.
Right.
It could be a 4.5.
It could.
It could have been. I think that the bottom airflow is a strange choice. You're always going to have leaking issues with that.
Yeah.
I have to believe that. Not with the pre-built coils, but with the other coils where you're wicking it yourself. Human error on a lot of it.
Until you learn, yeah.
Totally.
Don't fill all the way up the first time you wick those fuckers.
Because, the pressure of trying to put the 4 mils in here will just force it.
It might be good to fill it up halfway, vape for a little bit, and then fill it up as you go. Yeah.
And just make sure you got that wick stuff down there.
Just take it slow.
Totally stuff those wicks, guys.
Yeah,
Totally.
and full disclosure, we are vaping Banana Bondage by Adore e-liquid in here.
Absolutely.
That would be the liquid that we've been vaping, so if you like those clouds, check out that video.
Yep, good juice. And a good product. And we want to thank Element for sending this out. We were really impressed by it.
Vape
awesome.
City, bruh.
Yeah, really awesome.
Thank you, Element.
Yep.
That tank is beast.
It's beast.
It's a big bitch.
Yeah, she's a thick bitch.
She's a thick bitch.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
No
Please
doubt.
keep your coils tight.
Keep your wicks wet, baby. We love you.